Welcome to Kerah Speaks, where the truth runs deep. Faithful, healed, and free. Real talk, real growth. Let the Spirit speak, stories that set you free. Becoming who you're meant to be. Welcome to the conversation. Kerah Speaks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Kerah Speaks. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to each episode and to include the calling series. I am having a time really creating and interviewing fellow creatives and entrepreneurs. And I have so many guests that I'm looking forward to talking to. And I can't wait to share those people with you guys, because it's all about collaboration. It's about us making sure that we can not necessarily reach up and down, but across the aisle with each other, because that's how you grow. I'm always going to share what I know with other people. I ain't never been no hater. If I see somebody who's doing something that I'm inspired by, I'm going to follow them. And if I see a creative that, I'm inspired by, I'm going to ask them to be on the show. The worst they can say is no, right? But if you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Welcome. Make sure that you follow the podcast. And if you want to see my beautiful face, you can go to YouTube and look up Kerah Speaks, and you can watch the videos. Go to kerahspeak.com and you can get this jacket, this hoodie that I'm wearing, and it says faithful, healed, and free. I got a compliment on it today, actually. I was in Walmart and I was walking towards this other girl, and then I was like, what's she looking at? And so she got past me and she said, I like that jacket. And I said, thank you. It's amazing that the things that you create them kind of just for yourself out of your own mind. And then when you finally present it to the world and people say that they like it, it's very validating, but it also is very reaffirming that you're doing something right. Not to say that I need other people's opinions to know that I'm doing something right, but to know that other people see your work is important. So I really appreciate that. So if you want one of these jackets that says faithful, healed, and free, they come in red, black, and navy blue. I also have t-shirts you can get. They're on kerahspeaks.com. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Listen, we're on the road to 500 subscribers. I want to get to 500 subscribers before my birthday, which is in September 12th, y'all. So go ahead. I need y'all to subscribe, like this channel. Okay. Today, I am talking about something that kind of hit me today. For a long time, I'm going to say for a long time, but recently I have kind of had this imposter syndrome about being a creative. All I've ever known my whole life was get a job and you work. All I've ever known was stability. All I've ever known was the status quo. You do things that will make you a paycheck, that will bring you a steady paycheck home every day or every week, whatever. And you do that because that's something you can see. That's structured. I mean, I was in the military, for goodness sake. That's all I've ever known until I got to this place and I was able to expand and pour more into this creative side of me. When I was in therapy, we worked on pouring into my creative side. And she asked me before, she said, Kerah, why don't you, lean more into your creative space? And I said, I just don't think I'm disciplined enough. And she corrected me. And she said, I don't think it's that you're not disciplined. She said, look at your home. She said, because we did video chat, she said, look at your house. I see your house is like immaculate. You got everything clean and put away. And she said, I'm sure you do well at your job. I'm sure you were successful in the military. She said, of course you're disciplined. She said, so it's got to be something else. And so I thought about it. That was some of the work that I did. And I had to think about what is it that kept me from getting over the hump and, leaning more into my creative space. And it was because of the number one, lack of support initially. And number two, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that what I had to say was important to for other people to hear. I knew that what I had to say was important. I knew that what I wanted was I knew that what I had in my heart was to create. I just didn't think it was attainable. It was the lack of faith. So stepping into this space where I have created, this brand is very different for me. And this is probably the most consistent I've ever been, creating. So when I decided to make the calling series, I decided to make it because I wanted to talk to other creatives. It started as, oh well, I want to build a community, because I was just waiting for a community to find me so I can, share what it's like being a creative. But then I thought about it, I was like, why don't you just create your own space? So I did. That's why it's called a calling series. But then I started to think about what the calling series really was. It shifted for me in my mind. Um, it's no longer about making content for me. I think I have redefined my relationship with creativity. Now, this calling series is not just about interviewing people for content, it's about stewardship. It's about stewardship. There are a lot of things that I am not. I don't have the educational background that other people have. I might not have the experience that other people have. But if there's one thing I have is the ability to create. I have the ability to create, and it is a divine gift. I create in a multitude of ways. In I create by allowing people safe space to express themselves. And that's what the calling series is. It is a safe space. A lot of people think that being creative is about aesthetics and talent and followers. But what I'm describing is a lot deeper than that. I'm realizing that my gift is not just to produce. It has translated into something by allowing the invisible things to manifest so people can feel it. I am not just called to create, I am a creator. I am a creator. And with that, I understand that I am not a creator on my own. That idea, that awareness comes from the Holy Spirit. It comes from the divine inspiration of the Holy Spirit. It comes from the creator that allows me to create. And when I was having this imposter syndrome, I was thinking, where do I want this podcast to go? Like, what do I want to do? I like writing, I like speaking, I like interviewing, but like, I felt like I had to narrow it down. But then I realized, like, Kerah, you are all of these things. You are a creative. You you can do all of the, that's why a lot of things that I do, it moves across multiple forms naturally. I can create visual concepts. I can do branding. I can do storytelling. I can do a podcast. I can write a book. I can do all of those things. My job is to steward those things and be a vessel. My job is to allow people to tell their own stories. And that's the whole reason why I created this brand. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I created the merch. That's what this entire thing is about. I wanted people to feel something. I wanted them to create their own narrative. I want people to be able to speak up for themselves. I want people to be able to say who they are and not who other people say that they are. I want people to be able to speak with confidence and speak boldly and speak proudly of who they are. without the performance, to lay down whatever identity that society gave them, their parents gave them, the church gave, whatever identity that was given to them, that I want to be able to create a space where people can put that down and say, no, this is who I am. This is who I was created to be. This is who I am. That's why it's called Faithful, Healed, and Free. This platform is about freedom. And I realized today that it's not about what can I create or how can I become more creative. I am a creator. I am that. It is a way of life. It is who I am deep in my bones. It's not a hobby. It is not something that I am auditioning for. It is who I am. I am already one. And I realized that I don't have to think that I'm not worthy enough to be where I am. Yahweh gave me this gift to create. He gave me a gift to make people feel safe in my presence and to give them a voice. Kerah Speaks, the Calling series is not about asking for permission to be myself. Yahweh already gave me this. He already gave me the yes. So I don't care about other people's no's. That's the most important yes. I can exist without shrinking. That's what this whole platform is about. It's for people to name themselves. Stop letting other people narrate their identity. You know, like I said, my merch is not just about, clothing. It's not just about that. It's about, it's language. It's language. It's about reinforcing who they already are. It's a declaration. That's the word I was looking for. It is a declaration externally. When you're having trouble believing it internally. Even when you second guess yourself, when you doubt yourself, when you look at the clothing that says faithful, healed, and free, you remember what's the foundation. Your faith is the foundation. And if you lean on that, you can get to the healing. And in that healing, there is freedom. That's what this is about. I do everything with intentionality. These are not just words on a shirt. They mean something to me. They mean something. And it's my experience. That's why I say, that's why this whole thing is about, I'm not a therapist. I ain't no therapist. I ain't Dr. Brian, okay? I'm not Dr. Brian. I'm just Kerah. I'm just speaking from my experience, and I'm hoping that the things that I share can resonate with somebody to say, hey, I see that too. I feel that too. And I just want people to reclaim the authorship over their own life and over themselves, because so many times we operate in an identity that was given to us. We play a role that was given to us, and we say that, yeah, this is who I am. But if we really dig deep in what we want, when we really dig deep in what we truly desire, we realize that doesn't match the identity that we have been playing our whole lives, especially as people who are creatives. I am naturally drawn to moments or drawn to people who are authentic, who don't perform. I am naturally drawn to those people. And I didn't realize that at first. I knew that I really love, intentionality and thoughtful conversations. But I didn't surround myself with those type of people. I was trying to pull that out of people who did not have the capacity for it. And that drained me. And so I stopped doing that. So I started creating spaces where I could attract those type of people. I stopped reaching for those people and chasing those people who didn't have the capacity. And I started creating space for people to come to me who already naturally had the capacity, who are already living in their purpose, in their calling. And that's the difference. That's what the healed part of faithful, healed, and free comes from, is when I stop chasing. And that's what this platform is about, is for people who stop chasing. They tired of chasing. They tired of running after people and after things that's running from them. So, you know, and that's the thing. I'm not chasing creativity anymore. Like I'm not chasing it. I'm recognizing the responsibility of it, because it's a responsibility to create. Because when you're creating, you're not meant to keep it to yourself. That's the thing. That's the thing about gifts. That's what, when you are creative, I see it as a spiritual gift, the same spiritual gift that the scriptures talk about. And the thing is, it's never really about us. It's never about us. It is not to show how great we are when we create things. It's never to do that. It is to give it to the people. It is to just be a vessel. And when you're doing that, when you're creating and you are recognizing that it comes from the Holy Spirit, that self same spirit goes out and it permeates to people. We're just vessels, right? We're just vessels. So you have to share your gift. So when you're sharing it with other people and it permeates to them and they light up, that self same spirit is shared with them. That's obedience. Our job is only to give it to the people as it was given to us. Because the gifts that we have as creatives, it ain't yours. It's not yours. And what you don't want to do is have a gift and keep it to yourself. And then when you leave this earth, you and he asks you, what did you do with what he gave you? And you say nothing because you didn't share it. You don't share it with nobody. You got to share what was given to you, whatever it is. Whatever it is. People think that the only people that are gifted are, it's when it comes to, the Bible and spirituality. People think, oh, if you got a blessing, it's preaching or singing. No, whatever your gift is, because it comes from the self same spirit. If it makes somebody happy, if it brings somebody joy, encouragement, inspiration, those are all gifts from the Creator. If it brings him glory in what you do, then that you are walking in obedience. But you got to know where to give him the glory. That way, when you give it to somebody else, then he is glorified in your giving. We are all just vessels. Whatever, you might be a good orator. You might be really good at speaking. But when you speak, do you edify the people? Do you give them something to hold on to? Not anything that is fleeting. I'm talking about something that they can feel in their spirit so they can go out. Do you plant a seed so it can grow, or do you plant a weed? When you see yourself as a vessel and knowing that you have a gift that you are meant to give to other people, you stop seeing yourself looking for validation from other people. You say, this is something that I'm giving to the people. This is something that was given to me that I got to share with the people. A lot of creatives, sometimes we be thinking like we got to be qualified before we do stuff. Like I said, I had imposter syndrome, but he doesn't qualify he doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And that's what you got. That's what I keep in my mind. Moses was a stutterer. He stuttered. Yet he led the children out of Israel, didn't he? So, I think about, as long as Yahweh is in me, as long as I seek his face, as I continue to go on this journey, then I'll be okay. I don't have to look left or right. Just keep my mind on him, keep my eyes straight forward. Don't never get in my ego, and just I'll stay in alignment. Period. I don't argue with anything within myself or outside of myself that tries to tell me I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And here's the thing, like, this platform is just going to get larger. I'm going to get bigger. It's going to open up doors, and I'm going to have bigger opportunities, and I'm going to be able to be a vessel for a lot of people to feel seen and tell their own story. And I'm excited about that. I don't know where this platform is going to take me, but I see it. I see it. I see it. My prayer is that Yahweh enlarges my territory more ways than I can think of. I had a really hard time thinking about where I wanted this platform to go because I was so used to structure. But I just have to let Yahweh control that. You know, when I ask him to enlarge my territory, I don't mean just physically, I mean mentally as well. I want to be able to imagine how big this can get. I want my imagination to enlarge, bigger than I ever have before in my life. And that's what I'm excited about. Just know you heard it here first. And I'm recording this video today because I want to be able to look back at this and be like, yeah, because of faith, because I believed, it happened for me. And I want this to be a inspiration for somebody. When you see somebody start from the ground up, I want my faith to be inspiration for somebody who may be doubting in their season. Just know this is where I was in the very beginning with not many followers, but I believed. And as long as you believed, you can knock down walls. You can knock down the walls of Jericho. It's about having faith. Faithful, healed, and free. That's all I got, y'all. I was just sharing my thoughts today, honestly. I wasn't even gonna record, but it was just kind of like spur of the moment. And I wanted to share my thoughts. So I hope y'all, got something out of it. I hope it made sense to you. Sometimes you feel like I'm rambling, but I hope it made some sense to you. And I hope you continue to watch and look out for the very next episode of the Calling series, where I have many entrepreneurs and creatives who are doing some really wonderful things. And make sure that you follow those people who I've already had on the show: Jocelyn, JB, J Gemini. Thank you to all of those people. Thank you for, investing and believing in this podcast the first time, being one of the first people. Thank you guys so much. And make sure that we, support one another in whatever everybody's doing, and not just support, be present. As creatives, we really be looking for people not to just be there physically. We want emotional presence. We want, you to be there and understand where we come from. We're deep thinkers. We feel things. And, we want people to be there for us. But if you can't do that, make sure you creatives find you a community of people who can. And, keep creating, keep stretching, keep expanding, keep praying, stay connected to your source. All right. I'll see y'all next time right here on Kerah Speaks, where we live faithful, healed, and free. I'll see y'all next time. Follow this podcast and connect with me at kerahspeaks.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kerah Speaks.